Hi guys, I hope you're well and you've had a good week. Today I just wanted to do a video on my summer makeup, the makeup that I've been wearing for the last few weeks religiously. Although it doesn't feel like summer in England, I have been wearing lighter summer appropriate makeup, and I think if you live somewhere hot or if you're going on holiday, then this would be a nice look for you to do. The products are very summery as well. They're a little bit lighter textures and the colours are, I feel, summery, very simple look, and I hope you enjoy. So the first product I'm going to use is my Clarins UV Plus, which is a sunscreen and a primer all in one, and I really love this because it has a pinky tone, a really light texture, it's oil free, and it just evens out the skin as well as protecting it. So I just apply a little bit of that all over the face. It leaves it quite feeling quite mattified, which is good if you have oily skin, and it makes it a great base for makeup. So basically you just gently work that all around the face, and I'll have all day protection. It's an SPF 40, which is really high, and I really recommend it. It's a great primer and a sunscreen. So that's evened out my skin texture just a little bit. It fills in the pores lightly and just brightens it up because of the pinky tone to it. So then the next thing I apply is my under eye concealer, and the one I use is Diorskin Nude concealer, which I've bought many times. I really like this. It's a very lightweight concealer that's great for under the eyes. It covers but it doesn't cake, and you just need a really tiny amount to just even out under the eyes. And I don't really know why I do my eyes first, but I think it's because I can't stand to look at myself with circles, so I kind of have to get this done before I can do anything else. I find it hard looking at myself without makeup sometimes, so I just like to cover really quickly. So gently I just put a little bit under each eye and then gently pat it in when I've worked it all around. I'll bring it up a little bit as well on the inner corners of my eye and just pat it in. So that's covered just a little bit. And then the next thing I will do is use my Double Wear Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover. I know this is my summer look and it is lighter, but I still need that coverage for areas where I've got acne scarring, so I'll apply this as a heavy duty concealer on those areas, and then everywhere else I can use a much lighter coverage because I just need to even out the pigmentation in most areas. So I'm just going to use a tiny amount of my Estee Lauder Maximum Cover, which I use every single day and love it. If you have acne scarring, hyperpigmentation, or any uneven skin tone basically, then use this and it will get rid of it all. It's made for getting rid of or covering tattoos and scarring, so it's very heavy duty and it doesn't look heavy on the skin either. I'm just going to take a tiny amount and use my Sephora Professional Mineral Powder Brush, which I think is amazing. It's like a mini kabuki, a round top kabuki brush on a handle, which is very easy to use, and I find that just by buffing this a little bit of it in the areas where I need to cover the scarring and the redness, it gets rid of it straight away, and this brush just makes it look flawless. So I'll do that on the areas that need it. You just need a tiny amount and it will cover straight away. My scarring's gone down so much since I've been using the Boots Botanics Microdermabrasion Scrub. My scarring has faded so much, so I'm so happy with that. I don't need to use as much as I used to of this at all now. I'm just going to take whatever's left on my brush and take it over my nose just to get rid of the redness that I might have, and a little bit between my eyebrows where it's also red. And that's it really, so I don't need much of that. That's just kind of evened out the areas where I did have scarring. And then I'm going to the foundation, well it's not really a foundation, but the base I'm going to use, which I've been using every day pretty much, is my Dior Hydralife BB Creme, which is one of those beauty balms. It's a tinted moisturiser, I guess, with added skin benefits, and I really like the Dior one. It leaves my skin looking so fresh and healthy. I love the finish of this. It actually does work with my oily skin, which is surprising because I didn't think it would. But it doesn't last a really long amount of time. I'd say 4 or 5 hours, then I need to set it again with a powder, and I do need to set it straight away with a powder, but I still love that dewy look on my skin. It looks amazing. It fills in all the uneven all my pores and stuff. It makes my skin look flawless, and I think it's a great BB cream to try, because it really does give a great finish. The only problem is that it comes in one shade, which you'll see in a minute doesn't really suit me straight away, but after about half an hour or so it does lighten a tiny bit and kind of transform into my skin tone, but it's still a little bit dark for me. So it's going to work when I have a tan and things, but I still like wearing it because I just love the finish so much. So it has this pump applicator, which is really nice. It's very easy to use. Mine is very dirty, which I apologise for, but you get 50 ml of product, which is pretty good. That's 1.5 times what you would usually get in a foundation. So I'm going to use that much there. It's about 2.5 pumps, and take my normal foundation brush. I don't know why, but I can't apply any base products really with my fingers apart from concealer. It just doesn't feel right, and I hate having it on my hands, so I have to use a brush to apply whatever I'm using as my base. And this is my Louise Young LY34, which is the best foundation brush I've ever used. I love the shape of it. It's very dense, and it's rounded, and it just buffs and applies really nicely. So I'm just going to put the brush in there and take a little bit, and then almost stipple it onto my cheek. And I'm not going to say the way I apply it is the right way, but I think this is the way that works for me. I just almost stipple it all over, so I've covered the area. I take a little bit on my chin. I usually do this side of my face first, under my nose. It smells really good as well. And then I'll gently work it in with the, because it's a fluffy brush, you can buff with it as well. So I'll gently work that in everywhere. The finish of this is just so beautiful. It just gives you that perfect complexion straight away, which I love, and it's not heavy like foundations can be. So although it's not the right colour for me, I'm addicted to what it looks like on the skin. And it doesn't last the longest amount of time on my skin, but if you have normal to maybe slightly combination and definitely dry, this would be a really beautiful base for you to use, because it really hydrates the skin and just gives that natural dewy finish. I'll take a little bit on my ears as well, because like I said, the colour isn't perfect for me. The reason I bought this is because I saw that Lorraine Stanek was wearing it, and she loved it, and she has similar skin type to me, acne prone and a little bit oily, and she lives in Florida, so she lives in a much hotter climate, and I just thought if she can wear it, then I'll be okay to wear it as well. And I do really love it, but it probably suits her colouring better because she's much more tan than me. So I just work it in. Everywhere, just a little bit left on my hand. I'm going to take it down my neck a little bit because I need to match the colour. And then I'm going to kind of smooth it in with my fingers, because the warmth of your fingers really helps the product or the makeup to blend with your skin much better and give it a more natural finish, and get rid of any brush strokes you might have, and just make it look even on your skin. So that's it, that's looking good. So it's just a very light coverage, but it definitely does cover. I would say it's probably a medium coverage actually, and probably buildable, but I don't build it. I just put one layer all over my face and blend it really nicely, but it just gives that nice glow to the skin. It evens it all out, gets rid of all the redness, and I'm really happy with it. I really do like this a lot. So because I have oily skin, I do have to set it, but I'm going to do my eyebrows first because I like to wait a few minutes till it kind of bonds with my skin, and then I'll set it with a loose powder. So I'm going to do my eyebrows, and I'm just going to brush them so they're in place, and then I can see what shape I have to work with when I fill them in. So I just like to get it into kind of how they should look, so they're all in a line, and then I'll take my Gosh precision liner, I think it's called, or something. It's called the Gosh long lasting brow pen. This is an amazing brow ink. It's semi-permanent, so it lasts the full day. It doesn't budge at all. It looks very natural, and it's great if you like the defined brow like I do. So I'm just going to apply that by looking in this mirror, and I just apply it very gently in very light feathered motion to get the most natural, to mimic the to mimic my hairs. So it just looks more natural when you're filling it in. And I don't know why, but I always start at the front, just because I have quite a big gap, I think, at the front of my eyebrows. And I like to start there and fill it in, and then gently work on my way out. This colour is a little bit darker than my eyebrows, but I like that. I really like having a dark brow. Some people don't like it, and I understand, but I just really personally like having a darker eyebrow. So I'll just take it up here, and sometimes my eyebrows are slightly different. Each one is slightly different, so I try and make them as even as I can, and this one needs a little bit more of an arch up at the top, so try and make that, and then I elongate them a little bit as well, because my eyebrows are a little bit shorter than they should be. So that's that one. It only takes 30 seconds or so, and then I like to kind of brush my fingers over it gently to get rid of any excess ink, and just makes it look more natural. So I'll do the other eye one, the other eyebrow. Gently fill in the middle or the front. Light brush strokes. This is very, very natural looking. Such a good brow ink. It just gets you those perfect eyebrows straight away without having to do anything. So you can fill in as much or as little as you like. I think this is exactly the same. It's a very, very good dupe to Cosmetics a la carte brow ink, which I also really love, but this one is a quarter of the price or something like that. A lot cheaper, and it does exactly the same thing. So I really recommend the Gosh brow pen. So I've done both my eyebrows. As you can see, I like them quite filled in. And then I take my MAC brow set, and mine is very, very dirty. It's meant to be clear, but it isn't anymore. I probably should get a new one, to be honest. And I'll just brush the hairs up, because I think it looks better when they're kind of slightly messy and sticking up a little bit. And that will set them so they won't move. And that's that. Then I will do my powder now, and I'm going to use my Guerlain Le Voilette Mineral Invisible Skin Fusion Loose Powder, Unifying and Mattifying. This is a really, really good loose powder. I bought it about a year ago, but didn't use it that much, and I've started to use it again, and I think it's beautiful. It's very, very light on the skin, and it's just good for getting that semi-matte finish. And I really like it. It doesn't look cakey or heavy or powdery at all. So I'll just put it in the lid, and then I'll work my Eco Tools fluffy bronzer brush, I think it is, or powder brush in there, and then tap off the excess and almost push it into my skin. Because if you work a powder on top of the liquid foundation, it can move it. So I just want to kind of press it gently all over the skin, and really to set the liquid foundation. Here's a little bit more. And just press it in, and I'll put it everywhere. If you don't have oily skin, you won't need to set this at all, because it doesn't have an overly luminous finish, the BB cream, but it is quite dewy, and with my oily skin I do need to set it, otherwise it would just melt off my face. So that's that. Then I'll do my eyes next, and they're really, really simple. Recently I've just been sticking to one base colour, a tiny bit of a darker shadow just instead of eyeliner, and that's it really, and I love this look. I think both these products that I'm using are very nice and really good for summer. And the first product is the Urban Decay Sin Primer Potion, which I love. It's a champagne coloured cream eyeshadow, and once it sets it just doesn't budge. It's great for the summertime because it means it's not going to budge on your eyes, it's not going to melt away with the heat or anything like that, or the oils from your eyelids, and you just need a really tiny amount. Just use your fingers to just work it in, and yeah, sometimes I can just wear it on its own. It's very pretty, it just adds that subtle champagne colour all over your lids, or it's great as a base as well, and when you apply colour over the top, it will last just that little bit longer because it sticks to the primer potion. So I've applied that all over my lids, and then what I've been doing is taking my 217 and taking MAC's Romp eyeshadow, which is a very, very beautiful mid-tone bronze colour here, and I'm just going to do a blog about this today, so I'll put that up underneath this and link it below, and you can see pictures because it's really beautiful. If you have blue or green eyes, I imagine this would look gorgeous on you. Just that bronze shade really brings out the colour. And what I've been doing is taking the fluffy brush and just using a little bit of shadow, tapping it off to take the fluffy end and basically apply it where you would apply liner, just to the base of your eyes, of your lash line, along your lash line, and then just work it in. So you get a messy line basically, and it creates a really nice smoky kind of messy smoky eye for the day. It's not too dark, but it just adds just a nice amount of colour and just emphasises your eyes and brings them out just a little bit. I'm also going to take a tiny bit underneath. Just to bring them together and also bring out the eyes a little bit more. And do the other eye. This really is a beautiful colour. Has no fallout, it's not glittery, but it does have a metallic finish, and I just love this shade. It's definitely a must-have. If you like neutral or brown shades, then Romp is beautiful. I take it underneath again. This brush is great because it applies and it blends all in one go. It's just fantastic all-round good brush, and that's the 217 from MAC. So I've done that just lightly. It just adds a really nice amount of colour and depth to your eyes without being over the top. I think it's great for the summer. Then I'm going to take my Shiramura eyelash colours just to get some lift to my eyelashes, because I like them very, very natural in the summer, but I do like them to be curled, and using an eyelash colour just really helps to get them really curled and nice and long. So I've done that to both my eyes, and then I'm going to use YSL Singulier mascara, which is one of my favourite ever mascaras. It's a great one for the summer as well because it adds length, it curls, but it's not too obvious. It's dramatic enough, but it's still very, very natural at the same time, and it has a synthetic brush that have spiral kind of bristles to it, which means it will grab every single lash, and it just makes my lashes look amazing. I have okay lashes anyway, so most mascaras look quite good on my lashes, but this one just really, really grabs them all and just makes me look, or makes them look like there's so many more than there are. Well, they're obviously my lashes, but it brings them all out, so basically it looks much more voluminous than some other mascaras would look on my eyelashes. I just think it's a great, great mascara, and you don't really hear many people talk about it either. So I'm just going to apply one coat of those. I've got all the lashes. And do my other eye. For some reason on this eye I hold it up, I hold my eyelid up, but on the other one I don't really do that. I don't know why. The formula of this is fantastic as well because it's not too wet and it's not too dry. It's just right. It's amazing. So I've applied that on both my lashes. Then I'll take Clinique's bottom lash mascara, which is fantastic for the summer because it does not budge. The formula is resistant, water resistant, so it's not going to move. So if you're hot, or if you're sweaty, or if you're in water, then this is a great mascara to use because it just won't move. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that underneath my bottom lashes. Tiny little wand as well, so it grabs every single lash. It doesn't make them clumpy, just very, very natural. So I love that. I'm going to get rid of that. So that's my eyes. Then I don't know why, but I always take my fingers and just push my lashes up when they've got wet mascara on to just kind of set them, and it makes them much longer. Next I need to add shape to my face, so I'm going to contour. I recommend that most people contour. It can make such a difference to your face shape. It can make you look much more angular. It can create cheekbones where there weren't any. It can get rid of any areas that you want to get rid of, make your nose look slimmer, get rid of a double chin and things like that. It really helps. And the colour that I use is Max Harmony Blush Powder. It's just the perfect contour shade for me. It just creates that right amount of shadow. I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk tapered blush brush and just tap a bit off and then work under my cheekbones. I go backwards and forwards, and then I go in a circular motion to blend that just underneath the cheekbone. From my ear kind of towards my mouth, but not so close to my mouth. If you can see, it just adds that shape and that depth to the face, which I love, and I do this every single day. I couldn't not contour just because I'm used to it now. So I take it a little bit under the chin just to, again, define my jaw. I do the other side. And just down the side of my temples, and then I will take it at the top of my forehead and close to my hairline. And then whatever's left on my brush, I take it down my nose, like that. So that's that. And then I'm going to take Dior's bronzer in Nude Tan Healthy Glow, I think it's called, and the colour Sunlight is the one that I have. It's the bronzer that they've released with the 4 different shades. It's kind of got a peachy, blushy shade, and then 3 other tan colours. I really love this. It's a very subtle, buildable bronzer, so if you're quite fair like I am and you're always scared of bronzer, or you find that bronzer can be very obvious and dark, but you want to get a natural tan instead of making it look, instead of having it stand out on your skin, then I'd say this is a great one. It's very natural and subtle but beautiful, and it has a tiny amount of shimmer which just adds that healthy glow. It's not glittery, it just has a sheen to it. So I'm going to apply this pretty much on my cheekbones and all around my face just to add a little bit of warmth. And because it has that peachy shade in it, I find that I don't actually need to use blusher when I use this, because it just adds that peachy warmth to my skin already. So I'm going to apply that slightly higher than where I applied a contour, but work it in as well, just to add warmth. And then I'm going to take it down my neck, just to make sure that my neck is the same colour as my face, because nobody likes a white face and a tan, no, a white neck and a tan face. And do my ears as well. So that's that. It adds just a really beautiful glow and just a little bit of warmth to the skin. And last but not least is the lip colour, and the lip colour I really have been wearing a lot. I've actually worn this for about a year. I've had it for over a year or so, but it's one of my favourite lip products because it's one of those hydrating lip balm, colour and glossy products, and it's the Dior Lip Addict in Singulier, which I've mentioned quite a few times. I think it's the number 465, and it's just the most beautiful, bright, glossy pink, which I just think is lovely for the summer, and it looks great with the bronzy eye as well. Just that pink and that bronze look fantastic together. The last thing I do actually is apply an under eye highlighter, and I'm going to use Rimmel's Match Perfection, one of my favourite highlighting pens. It's really great. I think it rivals Touche Eclat. It's great value, it's very light, and it just adds that highlight to underneath the eye area. Then I'll spray my face with Max Charged Water, which is a hydrating mist similar to Fix Plus but has antioxidants and things like that, so I think it's better for your skin. But I'm really enjoying using this one, and it's going to set all my makeup, all my powder makeup, and make it last a little bit longer. It's also great for refreshing during the day as well, and I carry this everywhere with me. You just need a tiny amount all over the face. So that's the look.